Hello, class. It's Professor Tweed with exploded axons, and we're actually going to make the first piece of our exploded axons after we had a couple of videos on sort of creating the base here. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my final file, and this is just a temporary layer that I'll use to align things. So I'm going to go back to my file that has the actual 3D building. I'm going to come into the 3D mode, make sure I'm selected on scenes, and then check back up onto the cross section here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change my offset to get the basement. So I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So I'm going to cut down fairly high in the basement. I think I'm going to make sure I get that little foundation piece, and I'll go with this. And what you'll want to do is, again, you can hit the render button and render this thing, and it might take a few minutes to go and render. I think for the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to not render my exploded axon. The other thing you can do too, depending on the quality, is that you could start rendering, and I'll do it on this one maybe just to sort of demonstrate. You could start rendering, and it'll start the rendering process, and we'll see it looks better and it looks better. After a minute or two or 3 or 5, even maybe it's going to say it's going to take 20 minutes for you to render, hypothetically speaking. After 5 minutes, it might be like 90% of the way there, and you can just hit the escape key on your keyboard and you have that sort of semi-high quality. Now I only let mine run for 20 seconds, so that's not enough to get a super high quality, but you don't necessarily have to render the whole thing. And like in the last video, you don't have to render at all, but the more time you spend rendering, the higher the quality the rendering will be. For the sake of the video, of course, I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to take my basement. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to Control A for select all, or you can go under select and select all. I'm going to copy this thing, and I'm going to come back into my other file where I have this guy. I'm just going to paste it in. All right, so we can see every time you paste it in, it makes a new layer, and it centers it on the screen. So to make sure that all my building is aligned and various other elements, I'm going to move it up to this first guy I copied in from the last video, which is essentially my template. And as you come in here, you'll sort of feel it either snap into place, or you can just look to make sure that it's fitting into place. It's almost like you can feel the mouse snapping into place if you got it right. Like I said, you can also visually do it by zooming in. And once you got it sort of in alignment there, I'm just going to pull down and hold shift to make sure it goes straight down. And of course, I'm going to put the foundation plan way at the bottom of my page. And that's step 1. Essentially, for the rest of the steps, I'll do the first and the second floor in separate layers. The reason for that, sorry guys, I don't know if you caught any of that. I actually paused the video for a second, coughed, had a little coughing fit. So what I think I was saying, I'm going to do the first and second floor in different layers because they each come with their own unique things. This basement floor was really easy to do because I just copied, aligned it, and moved it down into place. Once I get to the first and second floor, I'm actually going to need to bring in 2 images of my model to get the cut lines just perfect. The second floor has its own unique things because of the roof that they've given you in this project, so we'll take a look at how to sort of adjust that as well. So I'll do each of those videos in there. So come back next time for the first floor axon.